So I want to talk about. So I've been talking a lot about in my videos. I've been talking about the left road, the road of struggle, the road of fear, the road of grinding, the road of like I got to make things happen. I got to open doors. I got to make opportunities happen. It's the road of like unhappiness and anxiety and stress. And then I've also spoken a lot about this right road, the road that our vision boards are based on and our goals are based on. We're pointing to some sort of potential. We're pointing to something that could exist. And this is the road of love, and this is the road of loving your life, but your life also loving you. The road of peace, the road of joy, the road of warmth, the road of connection. And this is the road that our soul wants for us. This is the road where our soul meets its purpose. This is why we're here. This is the road we are learning to remember to walk. That's the whole point of why we're here. So this journey from the left road to the right road is a journey that I've made. And one thing that we often don't learn, and a lot of you watching this are on this journey as well. How do we get to this life? And there's lots of books written on this right road. Our greatest mystics and teachers and wisdom traditions have written from the mountaintop about this right road. And there's also plenty of books written about the left road as well. There's most of the books in the world are written about how to be more productive and how to be better and how to perform better and hacks and how to work less hours or work more hours or how to start the business. Or I mean, we're inundated with books on how to struggle more, how to work harder, how to hustle more, how to grind more, how to get more successful, how to get more yeses, how to get more money. So we've got tons of books like that as well. But there's not a lot of stuff written about this middle phase. There's a kind of like this middle step. So after you leave the left road, so there's a death to the left road, and before you get to the birth of the right road, there's a cocooning. And I've spent the last year of my life, 12 months, my cocooning phase was in this cocoon. I didn't know I was in a cocoon until I knew I was in a cocoon, but there's a cocooning phase that I just went through. And the cocooning phase is mandatory. It teaches you all the lessons, all the things that you need to do. It gives you all the tools that you need in order to walk this right road. You can't walk the right road without going through the cocooning stage first. It's imperative, it's important. I'll make a lot of videos about this cocooning phase, but I want to say something today that this cocooning phase is, just think of it as like a caterpillar. Before a caterpillar must become a butterfly, it needs to kind of go into a cocoon, right? And that is where the caterpillar stops being a caterpillar and becomes the butterfly. So this cocooning phase in our life is where we kind of drop the old self and become the new self. It's where we drop our caterpillar to then become the butterfly. And that process needs to happen because we can't walk the right road as a caterpillar. A lot of people do. We see a lot of people on the left road trying to be spiritual, thinking that, hey, I'm still going to live a fear-based life, but I'm going to practice spirituality. So they're trying to walk the right road from the same self that is on the left road. They're approaching love from a place of fear, which doesn't exist. So the cocooning teaches us not to do that. And so let me just give you one of the big things that I learned in the cocooning phase right now. And one of the big things I learned in the cocooning phase that is going to allow me to be the butterfly is this. So imagine life is like a field. Okay, our life is a field. And I'll call old Tony. So Tony before cocooning, I'll call it old Tony, used to think that, hey, I want abundance in my life. That's a big term, right? Abundance. And a lot of us think abundance is wealth and riches and money, right? But that's not abundance. And what old Tony used to do was, old Tony wanted abundance. So what he would do is he had a field, and he would go to Home Depot and buy lots of plants to plant in his field. So instead of trusting that the field that I'm calling my life, Old Tony didn't trust the soil. It didn't trust the field. It didn't trust that anything would grow in that field. That's what we call scarcity. Okay. Didn't trust that anything would grow in that field. So Old Tony believed that, hey, if I want to have an abundant field, if I want to have a lot of greenery, then I must go and buy a lot of plants and plant them myself. And that's what I did. I spent decades making my field look abundant. I spent all my time struggling to put plants in this field so everybody in the world would look at my field and say, wow, look at Tony's field. He's got a beautiful field, so much greenery, so much abundance. He must be doing well. But the real truth was I wasn't doing well because it was an artificial field. Meaning, because I didn't trust the field would grow anything, I believed I had to go and buy all these plants. So I spent all my life planting plants in this field, plants that were not even native to this field. So I would buy plants that needed a lot of sunlight. I would buy plants that needed no sunlight. I would be plants that needed a lot of water, some plants that needed no water, all different types of plants that weren't native to my field. And I would be planting them. And obviously they would die because they weren't the right plants for my field. So I spent all my life digging out dead plants and putting in new plants to uphold this facade that Tony's field is abundant. So that was old Tony. That was Tony before the cocoon. And one of the things that I learned in this cocoon, this really important phase before you start walking the right road, is that, what abundance really is trusting that this field we call our life is going to grow plants. It's going to be abundant without me doing anything because that's what fields do. That's what soil does. They grow plants. So part of this right road is just allowing your field to grow plants. Trusting that the plants that your field grows are going to be native to your field, are going to be the right types of plants that need to grow. And not only will they be the right types of plants that they're going to grow, that they will become abundant without you needing to go to Home Depot. They will just become abundant on their own. So there's a trusting that the field will grow plants without you needing to do anything. All you got to do is tend to that field with love. That's all you got to do, is allow that field to bloom. You don't need to bloom that field. You just need to allow that field to bloom. So I just want to step back for a second right now. And the real truth of what I'm saying right now is that in scenario number 1, where Tony is buying Home Depot plants, in that scenario, left road, before cocoon, I thought I was the gardener. And I had to garden my field. I had to make my field happen. Right road, post cocoon, and this is big, I'm no longer the gardener of the field, but I am the field. Huge. So what is scarcity? Scarcity is believing. So the real definition of scarcity is believing in separation, believing that you are not the field, that you are the gardener of the field. That is scarcity. Abundance is knowing that I'm the field itself. And all I got to do is nothing. All I got to do is allow myself to grow, is allow myself to sprout, is allow the plants that naturally want to grow. Because why? Because plants must grow. It's law. Soil must produce plants. Plants must grow. And where we get into trouble in our life is believing that we must do something, that I've got to do something to allow this field to grow. I've got to do something. I got to water. I got to buy seeds. I got to get sunlight. I got to do all these things in order for this field to grow. But when you know that you are the field, all that doing actually stops the field from growing. When you are the field, you just allow yourself to express. You allow abundance to come through you because that is our birthright. We are here to become abundant. We are here to grow. We are here to be self-expressed. And we don't need to do anything to allow those things to happen. We just need to be. That's it. We screw things up when we get in the way. When we believe we need to do something or manufacture something or tend to something, that's when we get into trouble. We just have to do absolutely nothing and allow ourselves to grow, allow ourselves to become abundant. So you might be thinking, well, Tony, well, but the bills, and don't you have to do things? Yes, we do have to do things. There are actions we must take. It's not about being passive, but the doing comes from a place of knowing, meaning the doing comes to us in a logical fashion. Yes, of course, this is the next step. Yes, of course, I must do this thing. Of course, this door is opened. I must walk through. There is no struggle in the doing. There is no guessing in the doing. There is no strategizing. There's no pros and cons lists. There's none of that stuff. It just becomes, yes, of course, that's the next step. Of course, that's what I need to do. It becomes obvious. Our actions, the things that we do, there's an ease to them because there's a logic to them. There's of course, that's the next step. There's oh, the nudge. There's a nudge. There's a push. There's a pull that we know is the right step. There's no second guessing it. We just know. So when we allow ourselves to be the field in which we are, and there's nothing to do except allow ourselves to bloom, then any action we must take becomes part of that intelligence. The intelligence just provides us with the next step in a knowing, and then whatever steps we need to take, whatever actions we need to take, just become obvious. That's the best way to kind of English it or describe it. So the cocooning is all about forgetting that we are the gardener and remembering that we are the field itself.